Welcome back to Jersey Matters. New Jersey, as you know, has some of the strictest gun laws in the country. That will now be challenged in court. Here to talk about that is Scott Bach, who is the executive director of the Association of New Jersey Rifle and Pistol Clubs. That is the organization that is taking the state to court. Sir, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
What are the grounds? Why are you taking the state to court?
New Jersey has a long history of disparaging this right that's recognized by 43 states in the U.S. And so the purpose of this case is to set that right. New Jersey has denied that right to its citizens for a long time. It's been in the news lately. And the thing that a lot of people are surprised to learn is that the U.S. Supreme Court has held that police owe no duty to protect individual citizens from harm. Of course, they try.
And you're talking about having gun owners being allowed to carry their weapons outside of the home to protect themselves when they're out in the streets. And right now, it is legal to do that in New Jersey, but the standard is so high, right, to do it?
Technically it's legal, but in practice, almost nobody can qualify. The standard in New Jersey is you have to have actual threats, proof of actual threats or actual attacks.
And the wording in the statute is justifiable need.
Yes, and as it's been interpreted, unless you can prove you've been attacked or threatened, you can't qualify. I like to say by the time you would qualify, you're already dead.
When you say it's legal to carry, then you're saying, would you also be saying that it's illegal for criminals to be able to carry these guns as well?
Of course not.
Well, how do you differentiate?
Well, the way it works in most of the country is if you want to get a carry permit, you have to qualify for it, which means you're fingerprinted, the criminal and mental health background checks, and you have to prove proficiency with a firearm. We're not talking about unvetted. We're talking about trained, responsible, non-criminal, no mental health issues, responsible people who have been vetted by the state. Unfortunately, New Jersey doesn't even recognize that. This is, I mean, people are surprised to hear this, but this issue is often about women's empowerment. It's about the right of responsible people to defend themselves.
Why are you going to court with this now?
Well, we've done it before in the past, and something has changed. The reason is there's new case law that's come out in Washington, D.C., that has created what's known as a split in the circuit courts. That's the middle level federal appeals court. And when that happens, the U.S. Supreme Court usually steps in to resolve a conflict because you don't want, different set of constitutional rights in one part of the country and not another. So we think there's a better chance that this case will get to the U.S. Supreme Court than previous cases.
And you're basing this all on constitutional grounds?
Yes, it's based on the notion, as already outlined by the Supreme Court, that people have the right to defend themselves inside the home. Everybody agrees with that. The question I ask is, when you step outside your front door, what changes?
Has that been decided? I mean, I know
yes.
that it has been decided.
The Heller case.
The Heller case said that you could defend yourself inside the home.
Yes.
It doesn't say you can go out and carry it.
Correct.
And so far, the states have been given that. They've been able to rule on that. It has not been federal yet.
Well, correct. Heller only talked about inside the home, but it did talk about the importance of the right to self-protection. And the question we ask, is your life any less valuable when you step outside your front door than inside your home?
But if it specifically talks about that, you're actually venturing into new ground.
Yes, of course. I mean, that's the purpose of this case.
So you want to expand Heller?
Well, we want to apply Heller to outside the home. I guess that's an expansion of Heller, but Heller treated a very narrow set of circumstances. It's time to treat circumstances beyond that. I mean, this is a real issue for, 43 states recognize this right. New Jersey does not. Is our life any less valuable than anybody else's? And that's what this is really about.
I want to explain what Heller is. That it was Heller versus Washington, D.C. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. And it was the case that is the linchpin to the Second Amendment rights, saying that you have the right to protect yourself in your home with a firearm.
Yes. Washington, D.C. banned the possession of handguns inside your home. And Heller established that every citizen has a right to have a firearm for personal protection inside the home. It goes into extensive analysis, but that's Heller.
Are you worried about unintended consequences with this? What if the Supreme Court, or what if the appellate court, it works its way up to the Supreme Court, says, no, it's just the home?
Well, I mean, listen, that's always the case, but in a place like New Jersey, there's nothing to lose when you do it here, because in New Jersey, there is no right to carry. There's a statute that says if you can qualify, you can carry, but in point of fact, the average person cannot, and that's what this is all about.
The reason I bring up unintended consequences is because right now there is legislation pending in Congress that may grant people in New Jersey the right to carry. So I would imagine if that passes, you just pull your lawsuit.
Absolutely not. And the reason is, okay, if you have a national law, that national law is going to be challenged. And already Governor Murphy has already said within the last couple of weeks that if that passes, it's going to be challenged. Sooner or later, this issue is going to the Supreme Court, whether it's through reciprocity or through a lawsuit like ours challenging directly a state statute. At the end of the day, New Jersey is going to be forced to pass a constitutional carry law where honest, law-abiding people have the right to defend themselves outside the home.
You say sooner or later they're going to be forced to pass that amendment? You're confident in that?
Yes, I am, because whether it's through a challenge, ultimately this issue is going to the Supreme Court, whether it's a challenge to a federal reciprocity case or a legal challenge like ours. There are legal challenges in other states as well on right to carry, like there's one in New York. There may be one pending still in California. And so sooner or later, this issue is going to get there. So far, the Supreme Court has declined to take up this case, but we believe that the case is compelling. You have the Constitution says the right to keep and bear arms, okay? And, obviously there's a body of scholarship on that, but it's fundamental. If your right to protect yourself exists inside the home, how could it not exist outside?
And the Supreme Court has not taken it up because they believe that the states have the rights to rule on this, right?
No, they haven't said why they haven't taken it up. When the Supreme Court denies what's called certiorari, they refuse to take up a case. They don't give an explanation why. There are all kinds of reasons why they might not have until now, but now that there's a split in the circuit courts, we think it's very likely that they will.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Scott Bach is the executive director of the Association of New Jersey Rifle and Pistol Clubs. When we come back, still to come on Jersey Matters, New Jersey wants more electric cars on the road. We'll tell you how they plan to do that when Jersey Matters continues.